Hi everyone, this is Meg from Megumi's Stamping Retreat. Thank you for joining me today. We are making this pretty card from the holiday catalog. And to be honest with you, I was not going to purchase this bundle, but for some reason, this sample card just caught my eye and I just had to make one. Sounds familiar to you, right? Okay, so we're using this bundle. The stamp set is called Ornamental Envelopes, and the coordinating die set is envelopes dies. The stamps that we're using from this Ornamental Envelope stamp set is they are, let's see, the for the wreath we're using this, and also the circle dots berry design, and also the three little flowers over here. And for the envelopes, we are using dotted lines, and also the little corner image over here. Right. So set this aside. And I'm using the second stamp set because this stamp set does not have any greetings in a set. So I am bringing this stamp set called Wrapped in Christmas, and I am using two stamps, the Peace on Earth and It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. So these two we're using. Right. So I'll set my samples set aside and let's start stamping. So to make this card, I was doing free stamping and it did not go well. So I decided to use my Stamparatus. And let me show you my Stamparatus right here. And I made a template on my grid paper where to place my paper. So let me bring my stamp just to set the Stamparatus plate here. So I placed my stamp right on the grid paper right here. You can see the image, and that's where I wanted to stamp. So then I set my plate, and now it looks like this. Okay. Okay, to stamp, we have to do 4 times. So instead of moving stamps, we are moving paper in this case. So we're gonna start. Oh, I have this paper from the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. This is one of my favorite paper pack from the annual book. And so we're gonna put, I'm going to focus on the square part. So this paper is rectangle, but we are actually focusing on the top part, and it's kind of square to me. So we're focusing on this top section. Okay, and I'm going to put my paper over here. Every time I use a Stamparatus, I purposely move my stamping area to the lower part because I'm trying to avoid the hinged area. This way, it will stamp better. Okay, so to ink my stamp, I'm going to use Stampin' Spot. I found it a little bit, a lot actually, not a little bit, a lot cleaner to use this spot instead of regular size ink pad. So I'm going to see, it's out of my video range, so I'm going to move this so that you can see. So I'm going to ink my stamp using a Stampin' Spot, and I'll position my plate back in place, and I'm going to stamp once and lift it up. Now we have to do this 4 times. So watch my paper how I move. So I'm going to follow my template. So I'm going to go to the right and position my paper to my template, and see, I'm going to ink my stamp one more time, and I'm bring my plates down. So here we go. It will overlap a little bit, but it's supposed to, so not to worry. And I missed a little bit spot, but this is good because we are using Stamparatus, so you can go back and re-ink it and then stamp it one more time. Yeah, it got darker. All right, so then we're gonna move this way. So remember, I was focusing on the bottom, or in this case, it's now bottom part. Okay. See how the wreath is coming to the whole circle? Okay. I think I'm gonna go one more time. So if you like it darker, you can go again and stamp till you are happy. Yes, this is good. Okay, so this will be the last one. Here we go. Yeah, it did overlap a little bit, but it's okay, supposed to. I'm gonna do one more time. There you go. All right, so that's the first step, and we are going to change the plate and do the white ink. So I'll change my plate. So while I have this paper this way, I want to make sure that ink is totally dry. So I'm gonna go ahead, stamp this sentiment here. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And I'm going to use early Espresso ink pad. And I could use a Stamparatus, but this is just a simple stamp, so it's all right. Like that. Okay, now I'm gonna make sure the ink is totally dry. Okay, now I'm going to use craft white ink. If you don't have it, you can go ahead and use Versamark. I just wanted to see where I am stamping, so that's why I'm using craft ink. And I happen to have it in spots. So here's my spot. And I have another plate that I already positioned my stamp, so I'm going to just to show you the first time. This is how it looks. Okay, and I'm going to position my plate in Stamparatus. And before I stamp, I want to make sure that I can heat emboss well. So I'm going to rub the surface with the stamping body. Okay, all right, so my stamp is already inked, so I'm gonna start stamping. So this is the first one. Remember, we're gonna go 4 times. So here's first, and this time I want to go a little bit quicker because I want to make sure that ink is not going to dry, because I would like to emboss, heat emboss. So, okay, this is the second time. 2 more times. Like the last time. All right, so now I'm going to heat emboss with white emboss powder. So I'm going to bring this. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I am happy with that. So this is how it looks like. I hope you can see better. All right, so the next step is, let me put this my Stamparatus away. We're going to adhere onto the espresso layer, and don't worry about the paper measurements. I will make a note and I'll include in the description. Oh, that looks really pretty. Okay. Now next, I wanted to show you how to use the new banners pick a punch. So I'm going to start with 1/2 inch width paper, and with this punch you can you have 6 options. So there are 2 designs, and you can pick whichever design you like. I'm going to pick the one that has notched in, and my paper width is 1/2 inch. All right, so what I already stamped, and what I'm gonna do is I show you my template that I made for the punch. So I made this template, and if I put this my paper into the punch and a punch, I don't know how much it will take. So I made this punch, the template, and the yellow portion is the actual paper part that will punch out. And so I am using this guide to tell me where I need to trim off my paper. So you see it on the right hand side, this is the excess that I don't need. So lining it up with the guide, I'm going to cut that part off. Now I can insert my paper into the punch. So I'm going to insert it all the way in, make sure that it stops, and then I punch out. Okay, so then I do the same thing on the opposite side. So here is my template, and I'm trying to match out how much I have punched that part. So about right there. So I'm gonna flip because I'm right-handed, and I'm going to use that guide and just trim off that excess paper. All right, so then I'll bring my punch back, and I'm going to insert into the punch and make sure it's all the way in, and then punch. See, that's the perfect. All right, so making the template or the guide makes it really easy to use this punch. So I made, this is the 1/2 inch, and I have made let's see, two more sizes. So here is the 3/4. So I also made a the label for the for my templates here, and then I have another one, so 1 inch. So each size does punch out a little bit different. See? Okay, so that's really makes it easy. All right, so then this piece will go right on my stamped image to the sort of the right couple dimensionals there. Right. Okay, and then I have 3 flowers that are already stamped and a die cut just to save some time, and my mini glue dots. The one goes right at the bottom part. Oh, this one needs dimensional, so I will just cut a little piece. Just a small dimensional on the back of this one. Instead of mini glue dots, I wanted to have a dimensional, so just a tiny piece to right there. And the biggest flower has just one mini glue dot, and this will go right on the wreath. All right, and we are going to dress up with red rhinestones. This makes it really pretty. So, right. So anywhere would be fine. And one more or two more right on the flower, and one just a bright, well, I'm gonna put the bow in there, so I'm gonna move down a little bit. There we go. And this piece goes right on the real red base, and I'm going to use dimensionals. This is almost done. And my biggest challenge might be the bow that I have to make. Okay, all right. So right on the card base, I have the red rhinestones placed, and let's make a pretty bow. Usually I'm okay, but it's a different story when you have to make a bow on camera. So hope this will work. Looking pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Okay, I'm happy with that. All right, so this will be glued with the mini glue dot, and let's see where my mini glue dot went. So I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller before I take it off completely. So I'm gonna go ahead, stick my mini glue dot right there, and there goes my pretty bow. Hopefully that will stay. Yeah, looking good. Okay, so then I'm going to trim my excess, and this ribbon is really pretty, and but one end is going everywhere, so I'm gonna try to do the same on the opposite side, making a little bit kind of going like so. Yeah, all right, I go with that. So here's the card. All right, let's make a pretty envelope this time. I'm going to bring my Stamparatus, and I already positioned my 2 stamps, and I'm going to go ahead and ink my stamps. So let's see. Okay. Okay, it's pretty good. All right, so that's the stamping part. So I have a plate. Here you go, number 1 and number 2, and then one of the number 3. And the new plates are all numbered. And I'm going to use this design and just die cut the flap part of the envelope. And let's see if we can do this way. And another number 3 plate go on top, and then we're going to run it through. So I'm gonna move a little bit here. And let's see. Here we go. All right. So let's see how it turns. Oops. Oh. Like that. This is another design, different from the one I showed you. So yes, this is another design. We're going to do the scallop edge. Here we have this. All right, so then this will be glued to the flap. To adhere this, I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue that's in a fine tip, and I'm going to put some Tombow on the bottom and on the side, and then make sure don't put close to the edge. And I'll probably go a little bit inside of the image here, otherwise this part will lift. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so then I'm going to keep a little bit, about a 1/8, and I carefully close it. Maybe not. We'll go this way. See, if you use Tombow, you can just move a little bit if you need to. Okay, this will work. Not quite perfect, but I'll take it. All right, here's the pretty envelope. I hope you like it. Thank you.